What is up, guys, and welcome to the finale of Season 1 of F1 2021 Career Mode. We have finally arrived. I think we might be the last YouTuber to get to the end of Season 1, but forget about that. We're not rushing into things, and we are going to have a very long and illustrious career. I can guarantee you that one. I have no intentions of stopping after Season 2. Anyway, here we are for the finale. We have a bit of a dilemma at the team once again. We are going to prioritize the chassis department.
Thanks for handling that.
Because we don't want to piss them off. Basically, they are the key to making this car as good as what it is. And we need to continue to support them in our quest to be #1 in Formula 1. If you guys are enjoying this series, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. As you can see, we've been saving our resource points for a major R&D shake-up heading into next season. Still, nothing has been announced, so I'm wondering whether this regulation shake-up is going to happen at all.
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Good. Thanks, Chief.
We need your input here. Not an easy choice, I know.
Oh, no, not another one of these. So we had this in the second episode of this season. Now we got in the finale. We have to face the dilemma of firing an employee for getting cancelled on Twitter. We really need the team acclaim right now. And if it wasn't so dire, I probably would have kept you, mate. I'm sorry.
Thanks for stepping in and helping handle that.
That might not be the only employee we fire by the end of today's episode. Just gonna put it out there. Dan Ticktum, I'm looking at you. I will give him an ultimatum. If he can beat me, if he can score points in this final race, then I will consider keeping him for next season.
Thanks. I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
Thanks, mate. I wasn't even looking, but it's fine. So many dilemmas at this point, at this stage of the season. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice I shut down a facility. That was the marketing department. It was basically doing nothing. So I was hoping I'd save a bit of cash there. In other news, the development of the car has not been going so well in this last episode. Like I said, we've been saving the resource points for the regulation change. Hasn't happened, so yeah, we should have just spent the resource points, I guess. We've been overtaken by Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri, but it's only the last race, so we can deal with it.
Okay, I need your attention. The tech regulations are changing. There's a risk some of our hard work will be undone, so we need to mitigate it. As soon as you can, I want you to look at the developments we have and tell us what areas you want to invest in protecting.
Now it comes. Right at the last gasp, the R&D changes have been announced. Thank you, FIA, for leaving that until the very last minute to screw everyone over. Thankfully, I was prepared. And we're basically going to spend 2.6k of resource points saving everything that we can. So, as far as I know, it is only the engine, and looking at it there, it is just the engine components. If it was aero and chassis, for example, or more than one department, we would have been screwed. But I guess everyone's in the same boat, and I'm not sure that the AI teams have been saving their pennies for this rainy day. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of supplier upgrades coming in. Thank you, Renault, for lumping them all into the last race when they're going to get wiped from existence. Anyway, we're going to, consolidate all the upgrades. We're literally not going to spare any of them. We're going to consolidate them all so that we can basically have the same car from the end of this season heading into next season. I know that there will be some teams who won't be able to update or consolidate all their parts. So, the fact that we're maintaining status quo heading into Season 2 means we should actually move forward relative to some other teams. Because I know I've seen on the performance comparison, they still have been upgrading. And still, we can upgrade heading into Season 2. Minor tyre wear upgrade. It's going to go on in time for next season. But tyre wear is key. That's about the only upgrade we can do at the moment. Everything else is either restricted by Spec 2 facilities, or I simply can't afford it. It's either of the two. But yeah, Mercedes kick clear heading into the last race. Not like they needed that. Like I said, we got overtaken by 2 teams. We brought in a bunch of resource points, and even Dan Ticktum decided to pull his weight ever so slightly. It's like he realizes he's fighting for his job, potentially. He's got a bit too comfortable in that seat in the last 6 months. But yeah, there we go. That is Friday practice, one and done. We're ready to head into qualifying now for this race. I feel like our chances are going to be pretty good. There's a lot of low-speed corners, requires a lot of mechanical grip, and I think that suits the car. Wish me luck. All right, here we go for the final qualifying session of the season. Not exactly important since we can't really move forward in the constructors. That's the main motivation for us here at Marduk Motorsport, getting the prize money at the end of the season. But I think 8th in the constructors is locked in. We can't move forward or backwards. The drivers, though, is a different story. I am in a close battle with Fernando Alonso. As far as I know, I am 2 points ahead of him in the standings for P12. So he can easily overtake me. If Ocon has a blinder, gets another win or a podium, I think he can also overtake me as well. So got to keep my wits about me in this Grand Prix. But I'd love to finish the season with a bang with a couple of points. But the pace is not suggesting that that is going to be on the cards. 3.8 seconds off the pace. In the last couple of Grand Prix, we've only been like 1.8 seconds off the pace, my teammate included. So he's nearly 3 seconds off, and I'm nearly 4 seconds off. So I think I need to make some changes. We are going to lower the tyre pressures because they do struggle here in Abu Dhabi, particularly the front left through this part of the circuit that we're coming into now. The front tyres just get a bit of a beating, particularly this corner right here. It's a little bit nasty. Maybe it's the front right tyre that suffers. But either way, high temperatures here at this circuit, plus a bit of an abrasive surface. Is it abrasive? It is like a bit of a billiard table in terms of the surface. It's not bumpy until you get on the curbs. But yeah, for whatever reason, the tyre is not a happy boy around here. Anyway, that's an improvement of 0.8 over our previous best. We're going to push on for another lap and see if we can get up there with our teammate and get out of Q1. But no, we had a big spin, touched the curb, rear wing is broken, and that is game over. Because we've been disqualified. We've been disqualified for parking it on the pit lane exit, and apparently that's blocking. I didn't even have time to react to the spin. I was getting going, but I was already disqualified at that point. So we are last in the final outing of season 1. What a disaster. We were already not looking good for positions anyway. 32.8. Where is that going to put us in the field? On the race director. It's not going to make it out of Q1. It was only going to land us P20 at best. Right there with George Russell. So, yeah, it was not going to be a great session. And I'm not too sure there was much more time in that either.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
Let's not have my take on that because, well, if I showed the footage, it would not be suitable for YouTube. Anyway, yeah, a bit of a disaster start. We'll be starting last. We had the flexibility of starting on whatever tyre we like, but that's where the positives really end. Let's hope for lots of grid penalties to hopefully vault us back up the order.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
It's the final chapter of the season then here at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. It's a race where the pole sitter failed to finish in 3 of the first 4 events. A front row start here is by no means a guarantee of victory, so we go into battle once more as we get underway at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the rundown into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Perez, Max Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Leclerc, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Daniel Ticktum, Raikkonen, Ocon, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty, Gasly, Norris, Yuki Tsunoda, and Benjamin, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Let's aim for a strong finish to the season.
Thanks, Jeff. We're looking to do that. Unfortunately, we haven't been vaulted up the order as high as what I would have liked, but my teammate is in a golden position right now. P10. If he can stay there, or dare I say it, maybe even move forward, then that would be absolutely legendary and perhaps worthy of a drive in Season 2. So, Dan, it's in your hands to get points, to keep your drive for the rest of your career. Because let's be honest, who else is going to hire you at this point? Anyway, we are ready for this race. 2-stop strategy is looking likely on the cards. Could switch to a 1 if we so choose to do so. But here we go for the final time in Season 1. Absolutely nothing on the table except for pride. That is the ultimate motivator. 5 red lights and we are underway for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Good start for us there, but second phase not so favourable for us. Tsunoda making up a couple of places down into turn 1. We nearly got up the inside of Carlos Sainz there. We did dispatch of Lando Norris in the McLaren, who very nearly won my home race last time out. So to be fighting with the McLarens and Ferraris, I guess isn't too bad. Anyway, through the first sector and into sector 2 now. We get up the inside of Sainz, nearly Gasly as well. Gasly is a man who you guys have been suggesting in the comments as a potential candidate for Season 2. So I will definitely keep those suggestions in the back of my mind when it comes to selection for next season. But there's my teammate fighting for his life right now against the Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen. I think he's lost a position or two. But, yeah, he's holding down P11 at this stage. If he can play the long game and make the most of people's misfortune, he could still get points yet. But he's defending so hard against Raikkonen, he's inviting me into the party. I get up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda. We're now ahead of both Alpha Tauris, and that is absolutely what you love to see. Giovinazzi and Raikkonen up next. This is Raikkonen's final race in Formula 1. Mind you. Same too for Fernando Alonso. At the end of this race, he will be departing the sport. So there's definitely room in the calendar. There's room in the sport for a couple of rookies next season. So Ticktum may yet have a chance to come. Anyway, Giovinazzi up next. Raikkonen boxed at the end of the last lap. Maybe he made contact with Dan Ticktum, so that's a bit of a reprieve for my teammate, and he's actually showcasing some of his pace. He's much quicker than Giovinazzi. We get up his inside into Sector 3, and that is P12 for us.
Good job, nice overtake.
Thank you, Jeff. I will continue to move forward if I can. That's 10 positions. Well, 10 positions gained from where we should have been. in P22. But regardless, 6 spots for us so far is not a bad shout in the opening 2 laps of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hopefully Giovinazzi can continue to hold those faster boys back. I'm looking at Sainz, I'm looking at Norris, for example. We're going to need to keep whatever track position we get now in order to have even the slightest chance at some points. Maybe even change up the strategy and switch to a one-stop. Park the bus and really defend for our lives. We do have the straight line speed to back it up, so it might be worth a shot. As you can see, Jeff is suggesting another stint on the soft compound tyres. So based on that logic, maybe the tyre wear is lower than what we all forecasted. So maybe the one stop is possible. Anyway, we're 5 laps into this stint, and I'm monitoring the tyre wear lap by lap. And if we can get to about lap 10, lap 11, then maybe we can do a one stop and go to mediums to get to the end. Anyway, we get past Giovinazzi once again. One of the Red Bulls is in. That is Sergio Perez, the unluckiest man on the grid in Formula 1 right now. And there's a McLaren coming in. That is for Lando, trying to carve his way through the field. Unluckily, wasn't able to do so cleanly. Anyway, Alonso and Vettel are now in for their medium compound tyres. Hamilton and Ricciardo are also in. That promotes us up into P7. So life is looking pretty good at this stage. Don't bin it, Ben. Not in the final race. That's not what we need. We want momentum heading into season 2. Momentum is everything. Anyway, Giovinazzi trying to go around my outside at the first chicane. There's absolutely no way I'm going to leave the space there, especially when he's not even alongside. That's just an invitation to lose time. Anyway, Ocon, Leclerc are in, and that puts us up into P5. My teammate is on the podium in the final race of the season. Red flag the session now, FIA. That'd be nice.
We're trailing our teammate by 3.6 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in third. The time last lap was a 1:36.0.
Okay, 36.0 last time out for Dan Ticktum. He is actually flying at this point. I can't catch him. My teammate has really upped his ante in this final race of the season. He's now since boxed, and he is, I think, going for the 2-stop. We're going to stretch it like an extra lap or 2 maximum, and then just do a 1-stop. So even though Dan's got all the pace right now, we're going to have 1 less stop and potentially the better strategy. So either way, I think Marduk Motorsport might be on for a point here, because if I'm on the 1-stop and holding up faster cars, I might be holding up cars for Dan Ticktum to get points. Or either way, I'll be defending track position that'll hopefully get me points. Maybe both of us will get points if we're lucky. Anyway, Dan Ticktum, P9 right now. He is absolutely doing the job that he needs to be doing. Carlos Sainz is up next in the Ferrari. We rejoined pretty close behind him out of the pit stop. And we put on these medium compound tyres, and we're not getting dropped by Carlos Sainz. If anything, the car feels faster than his. And, you know, our tyres are only like 3 or 4 laps fresher than his. But it seems to be making quite a significant difference here as we get up the inside of Sainz, and we've overtaken a Ferrari. What is going on there? These tyres feel amazing on this car. So maybe it was temperatures that we were limited by in the opening stint on the softs. Maybe we were just overheating the fronts a little bit too much, but the mediums are well within the working range, and we're able to push quite hard. Anyway, you can see Lando putting pressure on my teammate, and hopefully he doesn't overtake him. Hopefully my teammate's got the straight line speed to keep him at bay. However, the McLaren is literally the fastest car in a straight line, especially with some DRS. Goodbye, Lando. Oh, that's contact. I hope my teammate doesn't have damage there. They go up the inside, but unable to make the move stick. He does have the straight line speed, though, but not once Lando gets the DRS. So, oh no, he doesn't have DRS. It's just straight up, straight line speed comparison between the two of us. And I think, if anything, we had the better straight line speed, so maybe not. Maybe we are the fastest in a straight line. There you go. We've overtaken McLaren in the straight line speed stakes. But yeah, you can see Tictum really putting in a great fight here against Lando side by side into the castle section. Tictum locks up, unable to get the job done, and Lando gets through for P9 in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. In the end, I think Lando's out of sync because he made that early stop on the medium compound tyres. Tictum's in again.
Daniel is in the pits. Daniel in the pits.
Tictum's in again. Lando's got another front wing change. I feel like this is a little bit early for another stop. I swear my teammate only just came in, like maybe 5 laps ago. He's got front wing damage too. So maybe they made contact with each other when they were running side by side on that last lap. And ultimately, that battle has cost both of them everything. Potentially points on the table for us now, as Lando and Tictum are perhaps no longer factors in this race. But if Tictum has his wits about him, he can get to the end on these tyres. I hope that he doesn't make a late stop for softs or something. He should be fine. We're just going to showcase exactly how far the mediums can go. We're going to do like 18 laps on them at the end, so it should be fine. The tyre wear numbers are lower than what has been forecasted in Friday practice and at the start of the Grand Prix. So we're really pushing these as far as they can. Well, not really. We won't even be in danger of having a puncture, but we're just showing the field exactly how far you can push these tyres. Anyway, Stroll gets past us on the previous straight. Alonso is lining us up next. And I'm just trying to hold on to whatever track position I can. Alonso locks up and lets Sergio Perez... No, he doesn't go through. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Is it done? Yes, it is done. And Sergio Perez is through in the Red Bull for P6. Here he comes again up the inside into the chicane. But yeah, we're going to park it on the apex there and keep the position. Do we get DRS? No, the detection point was a little bit further on than I anticipated. And Perez is going to get another shot at this. Around the outside into Sector 3. We hold the inside, last of the late breakers, and we're able to make that work. I feel like I'm pretty confident on the brakes around here, so I'm able to utilize that as a good defense mechanism. Here is Lewis Hamilton going slowly. He is out of the Grand Prix. Oh, no, he's not out of the Grand Prix. He's just got a puncture. So Lewis has picked up a puncture somewhere. Not sure how he's done that. Maybe rode a curb too aggressively. The curbs around this circuit are very brutal. You've actually got to test in time trial or in practice which curbs specifically you can touch, and you'll find out very quickly which ones you can't. I'm looking at you, penultimate corner. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Hamilton's picked up a puncture. But I don't think it's based on wear, given the low tyre wear numbers we've been seeing on our end of the spectrum. Anyway, we're in P5 right now, and there's 5 laps to go. We are defending for our lives against 2 Red Bulls. Perez has a problem, but Verstappen does not. On fresher, soft compound tyres, he recently made an extra stop, and he is absolutely flying. If I can keep him at bay, then his tyres towards the end in these last few laps will give us a fighting chance maybe, but we've got to save fuel. We've underfueled the car, as we always have, but we just need to do a little bit of fuel saving to get to the end without suffering too much in terms of pace. But you can see there's a big old train starting to form, and my teammate is slowly catching up. He's staying in touch with the Ferraris, with the Alfa Romeos, the McLarens, and the Aston Martins. Not too far behind me. There goes Perez. We kind of let him go there as we lifted and coasted into that corner. We will get DRS on this next straight, but we are going to absolutely send it into this braking zone, whether he likes it or not. Up the inside! That is a monster dive bomb into the 3rd sector. I'll tell you what, you guys say I dive bomb a lot in this series, but none of them are dive bombs compared to this. Look at this. We were like over a car length, maybe 2 car lengths back. But still, we were able to outbrake a Red Bull. That is absolutely crazy. Yes, Perez is suffering in terms of car pace or a mechanical issue or something, but it's just keeping the door cracked open, and we're able to wedge our front wing into such gaps. Speaking of front wing, Sergio Perez has lost his. He actually gave me a slight touch into Sector 3 as I was lifting and coasting at one point, and that was enough to destroy a bit of his wing. Here comes my teammate again for another stop. I said, Dan, don't do this. What has he done? He's thrown away any chance of getting points and any chance of getting a drive at this team for Season 2. Sayonara, Dan Ticktum. RIP 2021 to 2021. Anyway, final pit stops of the Grand Prix coming in now. These are unscheduled, by the way. So many people are suffering with issues right now. Stroll is into the pit lane with 3 laps to go. What's going on there? There's a yellow flag as well on the back straight for not 1 but 2 cars, a Ferrari and an Alfa Romeo. The competitors in this race are literally dropping like flies. As you can see, another front wing change. What is going on here? This circuit is turning out to be absolutely brutal. So many front wing changes for people up and down the field. Punctures. It's ridiculous. If we had just a little bit more car pace, who knows where we might have been in this race. Anyway, here comes Verstappen. No, Verstappen is already gone. Vettel. I knew it was something beginning with V. Unfortunately, unable to keep the position, even with the yellow flags at 2 different points on the back straight. Vettel gets through, so it's looking likely for P6 as an absolute maximum in this race. 2 laps to go, and now our DRS has failed, so we have to keep any track position we get. We can't let someone go through and then hope for DRS to re-overtake them. We need to be leading from the front. Here we go, 2 laps to go in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 2/10 is the difference between ourselves and Gasly, trying to hold on to a couple of points in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix through turns 2 and 3. The car's had a massive moment.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.